Hey guys, what's up? In today's video I want to talk a little bit about Black Ops 3. I know it's a bit late for a review and I don't really want to review the game. I just want to share my thoughts on it because I feel I need to make a few things right. I played the beta and I made a video about it and you can find it down in the description. But in that video I basically said that I can't recommend the game based on the beta. I had a terrible experience, it wasn't fun at all and I wouldn't buy the game myself. Now everything I talk about in this video is only about the multiplayer. I will not go into zombies, I will not go into single player, and it's only on PC, so I can't talk about the console versions. But in my previous video I said that I will not buy the game, and now you might be wondering why I'm playing it now. Actually, I got it for free due to a funny circumstance, and to be honest, if I wouldn't have gotten it for free, I probably wouldn't be playing it right now. But I have put about 15-20 hours or something along those lines into the multiplayer now, and I just wanted to put a few things right. First of all, theater mode is back. You can see the footage in the background is captured with theater mode, which is great. I loved theater mode in Black Ops 2. It was such a useful tool and I'm really happy they brought it back. However, I did have a few graphic issues with it. In some matches, when you replay some matches it's fine, and in others you get like black graphical glitches in the background, but that might be due to my settings. It might be due to my graphics card, so I can't really say that it's a general problem. If you know how I could fix this, you can see it here in the video every now and then please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Generally the performance of the game is not great on PC, I would say. It does run smooth, but I had to put everything down to low or to medium. You can see it. It just doesn't look really fantastic, and considering that it's based on a really old, outdated engine, you just kind of really expect it to run smoother. I mean, we're kind of used to it by now with Advanced Warfare and Ghost, especially Ghost, who both didn't run very well on PC. I get to my 60 FPS and it's all fine, but I really need to turn everything down, and it just annoys me a bit that you have a game that actually doesn't look that great and runs on an outdated engine and you still need to put everything down. It's a bit annoying. Also in the settings they have a few really ridiculous things, and I don't know if that comes from the console versions. Like for instance, they give you a main screen resolution, so you say your screen runs at whatever 1080p, but then you scale the game down so your game runs at 60% of that full resolution, which is like 1330 pixels. It's ridiculous. Like, those are not native resolutions, so that doesn't make much sense. You can set, you know, your screen to 720p or whatever you want to do and just play it at that, but some of these settings just don't make much sense and just feel like they've been ported over from the consoles in order to make the game work on the consoles. In terms of the levels, I kind of do enjoy them. I'm not having as much fun as I had with the maps in Black Ops 2. I feel that they are slightly hard to control. I said that already in my previous video, but obviously I'm still getting used to them. I only put 20 hours into it, so I don't know all the in and outs of all the maps. But once you get used to them a little bit, they are not that bad. I feel like some of the maps in Ghosts especially were just terrible in terms of the layout, in terms of the controllability. But yeah, it could be worse, you know. I mean, it's not too bad, and I do have fun with the maps, and I feel if I put a bit more time into it, I will eventually get used to them and have even more fun with them when you actually know them. But my main concern with the maps, also I said that in my beta video, was that enemies come from all angles, right? There's never a point where you feel completely safe. You can have an enemy coming into your back at all points in any multiplayer match. But the great thing is that Treyarch actually incorporated such a diversity on perks and options, how you customize your character, that you can nearly find something that counters any issue that you have with the game. Like I said, my issue is that so often you run around and suddenly there's an enemy behind you and he knifes you and you're dead, and it just sucks. You can have a perk that warns you on your little minimap with a red shadow behind you when there's someone close to you behind you. So that's great. That's exactly what I want, and I'm using it, and it really helps, and it just really counters these issues. So you have to pay the price for it. Obviously you need to put that perk into your class and you need to sacrifice something else for it, but it's really worth it, and I feel they found a great way to counter all the issues that people might have, basically by giving them a huge diversity of options to customize your character. And if you want to put the effort in that, then you can really tailor the game to your needs, and I feel that makes it so much more fun, and also it keeps it so much more interesting. When I remember Black Ops 2, after 20 hours, I probably have seen kind of everything. I knew all the kill streaks. Here, you just run around and suddenly a guy teleports. Or I had this one time, there was a kill streak where like some explosive balls run around in the whole map and chase down enemies and stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is that, you know? So it has a great sense of exploration and surprises, and they don't really stop. I mean, at some point they will once you've seen everything, but the massive customizability, if that's right, really keeps everything interesting, and at least for my comparison, much longer than in the previous Call of Duty games. You can explore perks, you can explore the customization of your character, kill streaks, and all that just keeps it engaging for a longer time, and that's actually a quite clever touch that Treyarch put on this game. There are other small things, like for instance, just before the match begins, you can adjust the look of your character to match the terrain. When you're playing in a more like brownish, deserty type of map, you can adjust your character to that. And also when you're in a lush green environment, it's the same. Generally, the character classes that I've previously thought would not be very customizable because you have your fixed character and that's it, are actually quite customizable in terms of their looks. The special abilities also give more diversity, so you have guys running around with crossbows, you have guys like stomping into the ground, killing people like this. You know, there are so many different special abilities that, again, like this kind of sense of exploration never really stops, and that really adds fun to the game, I felt. I personally had the experience that the score streaks, which are back, sometimes take too long to load up. Like you run around and you get like 3-4 kills in a row and you don't even get a UAV. But I need to look deeper into that. I haven't explored that enough, you know. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I have missed a setting or something where I can load up a bit quicker, but yeah, it always takes a bit too long in my experience to charge up these score streaks and get a reward. I noticed that there's less shooting through walls. Quite often, you know, the enemy is behind a wall, you shoot through it, and even it is just a plywood wall, like for instance in Aquarium, which is kind of a fun aquarium type of map. You can't even shoot through these plywood walls, and that really sucks because it's something that I really enjoy. You see the enemy running behind the wall, and in previous games you just keep shooting at him where he's running, boom, you get him through the wall. At least it's less. It worked in some areas, but generally I feel they took that out, and you know, it's just annoying because the enemies now in the final game actually do take quite a few shots, so it would be beneficial to shoot through walls every now and then. But it's not really a deal breaker. It's still fun, and I didn't feel that all the time enemies just slip away because they run behind a wall and you can't get them. So it happens every now and then it's annoying. Now, the wall running, right? One of the big inventions, quotation marks, of the game, wall running and double jumping, but particularly the wall running compared to Titanfall. And I mean, you have to compare to Titanfall. That's where it's coming from, and it still feels clunky. And I hate, for instance, that I can't stop in the middle of a wall run and use my position as I can do in Titanfall. There you just run on a wall, press the right mouse button, and you're locked in that position on the wall. You can use it to your advantage, shoot down. That's great. Also, you can't really do a lot with like double jumping from wall to wall and then get to higher points, because the vertical gameplay is very limited in Black Ops, and that sucks. Because why do you do double jumps? Why do you do wall running? So you can reach higher vantage points. That is it. It changes the linear gameplay on the ground to kind of a vertical level, and that's really what made Titanfall great, in my personal opinion. And here it is really reduced to, oh look, I'm not going to go through the middle, I'm going to go through the side of the map and do a little bit of a wall run. But it is basically pointless and really feels clunky. And I just think they missed a bit of a chance here. If they would have added more roofs, you know, that you can get on and get yourself a vantage point above the map, which they didn't do. Like, also there are loads of invisible walls. You try to jump on a roof, you can't get onto it, and that just really sucks. And they missed a chance and opportunity there to elevate the Call of Duty gameplay to kind of a more of a vertical level. That's a real shame, and it annoys me all the time because I really want to get more points. I want to get on these roofs, I want to shoot down and just add more diversity on that end to the gameplay. The gun balance is not always ideal. I noticed that some of the SMGs need nerfing, for instance. It's not all perfect, but I'm sure that Treyarchs is going to look at that and make one or the other adjustment. I've seen a lot of people complaining that some of the weapons are overpowered. I personally didn't really feel that. I felt that with any gun, you kind of can counter any other gun. So it's not always ideal, but it's getting there, and it's not as bad as we've seen it maybe in previous games. One thing, however, that annoys me majorly, and I said it in my previous video in terms of the guns, is that the knife one kill is gone. Like, you have the people in front of you, you knife them, and he doesn't even actually use the knife, he just hits them with the back of your gun and stuff, and it doesn't kill them, and then you go back and you still need to pump 2 or 3 bullets in them until they die. That is just so fucking annoying. I mean, I understand it's not realistic that you can take 3 bullets to the chest before you die, and then with a knife you instantly die, but it's the fucking Call of Duty thing. And I want to have it, and I just love it to be behind the guy and just come with the knife and just stab them, and I think everyone just feels like a major sense of satisfaction from that. So I don't really see why they took it out. I understand people complained about it before, but I don't care. It's an iconic Call of Duty feature, and they definitely should bring it back in the next game. I think it's absolute key, and it actually brought me to a point that I'm not even using the knife anymore. Whenever I see enemies and I'm in the position that I could just knife them, I just give them 2 or 3 bullets to the head and they fall down. You know, it's really annoying. It basically took knifing out of the game, and to me personally that sucks. There are not enough multiplayer maps. There are, I think previous games had like 13, 14 multiplayer maps. This one has 12. Plus Nuketown, which I guess you only get when you pre-order or whatever it was. But it feels less, because when the game finishes and then you come into the little lobby thing, you can vote to play the same map again, and people do that quite often. So even there are basically 12, 13 maps, it feels much less, and it feels quite repetitive in terms of the maps. Obviously, we're gonna see loads of DLC, so I think they basically want to give us a few less maps and dry us out and make the game just a little bit more boring in the original game package, and then when the DLCs come out, they basically push them on us and hope that more people purchase them, because having 2 maps less in the rotation might not feel like a lot, but I can imagine that subconsciously you start to miss something, and it basically gets more boring more quickly. So I understand the tactics from Treyarch and Activision behind it, but I personally don't agree with it. I think 12 maps plus Nuketown that not everyone has is just not enough. What I really enjoy is that the game is very fast paced. It never slows down. It always keeps like the adrenaline pumping, which is a good thing. It still annoys me that grenades don't fly as far as they used to. Just every time you throw a grenade and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that over this wall, and it just dies half the way and just bumps back into you. That just really sucks, and grenades take forever to explode. I mean, you can bake them, I guess, in your hand, but it's just not really how I want it to be, because so often, you know, you see the enemy, you just want to get around the corner, throw the nade in, boom, blow him away. But obviously, you throw the nade, the guy's waiting, he's like, oh, there's a nade, I'm gonna go back, and it just slows it down. I just feel that might need a little bit of nerfing as well. But overall, my recommendation, now having played the full version, the final release of Black Ops 3, is that I definitely recommend the game. I probably wouldn't pay full price for it, but if it is half a year from now, maybe a year from now on sale somewhere, then get it. And if you enjoyed like Black Ops 2, you probably will have fun with this one as well. It's definitely better than Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. It's more fun, and I really enjoyed the customizability approach. I feel that is kind of the big innovation that Treyarch put forward. They added so much customizability into this game that it just stays more interesting for a longer time. On top of that, it runs really smooth. I mean, I spoke about the performance issues, but you know, it doesn't stutter like Ghost did and all that. It's a smooth game, and that together with the endless customization options, that's really good. That's quite clever, and it nearly brought me a Call of Duty game that I am enjoying as much as I used to with the old games. However, on that note, I have to say that I still had more fun with Black Ops 2. I enjoyed the maps more and a few other things. I guess it's still the better game. But anyway, guys, these are my thoughts. This is my super late review. Hope you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts on Black Ops 3 down in the comment section below. Are you enjoying it? Are you thinking to get it? Anything that comes to mind, I'd appreciate any feedback on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like. You can subscribe to my channel, do all the good stuff. Otherwise, guys, take care, and I see you next time. I'm out. Bye.